Welcome to Startup Cabin Podcast. I'm Xue Mei Rhodin. You're listening to our Monday Minutes, where I share insights, tools, and trends that I think is interesting and useful for investors, entrepreneurs, and soon-to-be entrepreneurs to know about. Today, I want to talk about video first. So we're going from a text first to a video first based society. And the impact of this is largely underestimated. I wrote an article for Digital Technique where I'm a columnist in entrepreneurship. And that article was the most shared article they've ever had on Facebook. And I didn't expect it to become that big, but on the other hand, I kind of understand why, because in this article, unfortunately, it's in Swedish, so a lot of you viewers won't be able to read it, but I'll explain shortly what it's about. And I explain the different areas where the wave of the trend of video first is impacting our infrastructure, our businesses, how we communicate, everything. This is a very, very interesting topic, so I'll take it from the beginning. Video first has been a wave that has been going on for quite a while, pretty much since YouTube became big. And you're, of course, part of this journey because you're listening to either a podcast or watching me on YouTube. So you're part of this wave. But the impact of video first is not only about YouTubers or people sharing information in a video format, as I'm doing with my vlogs about my entrepreneur life and doing also on the YouTube channel. It's also about the impact of how heavily we use video-based content. So because we're using Netflix and YouTube so much all over the world, the ones who actually build our networks, the actual computers who run internet, have seen a massive impact. So they are working like crazy to be able to handle the load of people watching videos 24/7 online. And they were not prepared for this. So I know that Google and a lot of other companies are setting up small hubs all over Stockholm and different cities just to be able to handle the load of people watching Netflix and YouTube's 24/7. So for example, here where I live in Stockholm as part of the inner city, they are setting up small mini hubs to be able to handle that. And in the US, there's been a lot of talk about, charging for internet or internet usage of different kinds, which is referring to YouTube and Netflix, which is heavy traffic kind of websites. And it takes a lot of bandwidth, etc. So video has become an issue when it comes to laws around internet, how to build the internet infrastructure on a national level, on a city level, on a global level. And it has also impacted how people perceive to get information. This is part of branding authenticity that I have discussed before, and I'm going to do some extra videos, actually a whole series about that to explain that very thoroughly for you guys. But it's part of being authentic. It's really hard for me sitting in a YouTube channel and pretending to be someone else. You see me, you hear my voice, you see my expressions, and you see the wrinkles around my eyes when I smile properly, and all of that thing. So you can't really, you can't fake it. And before you could fake so much. So this is part of the authenticity branding wave that's also been going on for a while. But the massive spread of video right now is making that acceleration happen. And it's not only impacting, of course, the younger generations, the millennials that everybody is talking about. They use information in a different style. They would rather watch their YouTubers than going to a news site. It also has changed how we learn things. Everybody's using video how-tos instead of reading articles or learning from a teacher. We're getting video-based education online, all of that stuff. But when it comes to investors and entrepreneurs, the biggest impact there is partly this part about infrastructure and how people want to retain information. And that is that you can't get away anymore with not having a video introduction of your company. You can't get away with just having a text-based site because it's not telling you, the user, authentically who you are. So one of the hardest things are going to be for companies to change from text first to video first. And the problem there is that blogs have been around since the beginning of the internet. So writing and having access to free blogging tools and text tools, that's a big part of the internet. It's easy to learn. But that's only text. We've been writing since we went to school. Video is a completely different format where sound, tone of voice, the actual video visuals, how you talk to or interact with the viewer, which is you, but also the technical part, how to edit, how to manage, how to market, the quality, all of that. And that means that for video, going from text first to video first suddenly becomes much, much harder to duplicate as a new entrepreneur or someone who doesn't have an education in video editing and filming. So suddenly the production time of producing content is gonna be 10 times as big in terms of time and money. The good thing, though, about this is that the conversion rate when it comes to the comparison between text and pictures and anything else compared to video is pretty much double or more. Because simply you get a real person to talk to, a real person to see, a real human voice to interpret. And it's easier to feel that you can trust this person because you see, as I said, you see all the small tonations, and you hear all the small tonations, you see all the small kind of micro expressions that people have. And that's going to be so hard because a lot of people are also very, very uncomfortable being in front of the camera. The only reason that I can sit here and talk is because I've been doing lecturing for hundreds of people for years. And I've studied editing, I've studied filmmaking, and I've done videos from I was around 16 and forward. So standing in front of a crowd or talking to an audience is not new for me. But for most entrepreneurs, that's not their entrepreneurial type. So they'll have to find other people who can portray their company in an authentic way. And I see also even investors I met last weekend are getting into video. So this is a big change. And pretty soon, you will not be interesting for a user if you don't have that 30-second or 1-minute explanation of what your company does. And even more than that, showing them how to use your services or be a client for you in videos. So the video first wave is already here. It's already rolling up right now. The question is which ones get on the train now and which ones get left behind. Because for traditional companies, this is going to be super hard. They're very used to hiding behind their brands, hiding behind their big offices, and suddenly that's not how the users, the shoppers, the clients want to interact with them. So the question is, are you going to be on this train for the next 5 years, or are you going to be the one who are stranded on the shore? Are you ready for the wave of video first? Have you planned for it? And if not, or if you have done that, if you have any questions about this or any comments, please comment on our Twitter at Startup Cabin or our Instagram, Startup Cabin Podcast. We'd love to hear your questions and comments on this. And if you're interested in learning more, when you ask questions, we'll love to help out and give you as much information about how to do this as possible. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you next Monday.
If you're a founder in the Stockholm, Sweden area, and you're ready to scale your business, refine your leadership style, and set yourself up to become a global entrepreneur, you should consider applying to Startup Cabin Tribes. You can come apply over at startupcabin.com.